Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Knights of the Lunch Table podcast. Today we have a rather intriguing episode. Of course, here with my co-hosts are Kyle and Tyler. Say hello, guys.
Hey, what's up?
No.
Okay, then. So today's topic is going to be popular/unpopular opinions. This is going to be fun. So we'll start with what was the last thing we were just talking about?
Veggie burgers.
Yes, veggie burgers. I have had several of them at several different locations at several different times, and I find them disgusting. They like the Burger King one was probably the closest acceptable one I've ever had. And even still, it was not something like if it was the only choice left, I would probably still go without.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, though. You're writing off every veggie burger because of the ones that you happen to have tried were bad.
But I've done several.
Yeah, but are you sure that they're all different brands of
Yes.
veggie burgers? And
Tyler, I legitimately went to the store and bought veggie burgers to cook at home.
Right, but there's so many different variables to that. So cooking.
So you're telling me the company that provides Burger King, hospitals, and 2 other locations, I don't fucking remember the names of them, all buy their food from fucking Walmart? No.
So first of all, Burger King is gross.
That's what I'm saying.
That out the way right away.
They were the closest acceptable one.
Anything that's served at Burger King is automatically disqualified.
No, fuck you. That's already my opinion. Fuck you. I actually like Burger King.
That's it. We're canceling the podcast. We can't do this anyway.
Right? No, I like Burger King. They're not horrible. They're a bit greasy and over the top, but that's what I'm going there for. I'm not going there to be healthy. For fuck's sakes, it's a burger.
I want to go there to feel like I got shot with a tranquilizer dart.
Exactly.
Yeah, still.
But no, I have tried several different locations and several different times throughout the last 4 or 5 years, and even slightly before then, and they have all been gross.
See, that's the thing. There's so many different varieties of veggie burgers.
Oh my god.
It doesn't matter how many you've tried. There's still 10 times more than what you've tried. I guarantee it.
Yes, but they're all going to taste relatively the same.
Do you go into it? Hold on. Do you go into it expecting it to taste like meat or taste like
I don't have an expectation.
Else?
I don't have an expectation. That's always the thing. I go in fucking open-minded, hoping for the best. Hoping, hey, this one might slightly taste better. This one might be different. I'm hoping for the best. I really am, because as great as normal burgers are, we're going to reach a point where we can't maintain the fucking level of production we are with fucking cows. It's not going to happen.
Not in the way that we're doing it, at least.
That's why it's so good that veggie burgers can actually be good now.
And
affordable.
That's the thing.
When you visit, whenever you come down here to visit, I'm doing that stupid fucking test that they do, where I'm getting a variety of different burgers. Some of them will be veggie burgers, some of them will be with real meat, and I'm going to have you rate each one. And I guarantee you there will at least be a few veggie burgers that rank higher than the real meat burgers.
Fucking bet.
Because that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that
I
all
will
veggie
actively.
burgers...
No, I agree. I'm sure there's some that are better, and there's always some that are worse. But out of the dozen I have tried, they've just been trash.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Though, is there's not every veggie burger is going to be better than every meat burger. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying,
and that's not what I'm saying either.
Some that are just they're good. They're just better. Not to mention they're healthier for you. Go ahead and at me. Anybody, I don't care. Bring it.
I mean, technically, there's been a study that most of them are higher in sodium.
Haha!
Right, but that's one aspect. That's the thing. You gotta red meat
significantly higher in sodium.
Over
fucking ramen level.
Some of them. That's what I'm saying. Though, this is the thing. Because this is a common fallacy that happens with people. Is they take, I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but they take one aspect of a thing and then spread that out across the whole group of whatever you're discussing. So veggie burgers generally have more sodium. So they'll say, therefore, all veggie burgers are worse than this because they have this problem. And it's like that. It's this one veggie burger has this one problem, so it's worse. That one particular one is worse than this one in that instance. That doesn't mean that the whole thing of all veggie burgers are worse for you than meat burgers.
And that's the thing. Like, if you've seen the way I eat, you will know that for the most part, I don't really care what goes into my body. Fuck, I have 2 full things of ramen, like boxes of ramen sitting around that I'll dig into occasionally.
I remember visiting you a couple times when you lived in Boston or wherever it was. And yeah, you had fucking Hot Pockets in the freezer, so that's
Exactly.
indication right there that you don't care what.
And I don't. Like, I care enough to keep myself alive on a daily basis. Like, yeah, I'll have a banana every couple of days. I'll have an apple. I'll eat my veggies. But, like, beyond that, I'm eating because I like the taste of food. If I don't
Yeah.
like the taste of food, I'm not going to eat it. And
Yeah,
back to your point, Tyler, of it not every single one of them. And that's the same exact fucking thing with normal burgers. Yeah, some of them are absolutely fucking high in fat. Some aren't. Some have fucking you bite into it and it fucking explodes grease. Some of them you bite into it and it's drier than a fucking brick.
Oh, bro, that shit's the worst when you bite it and it's just a fucking grease pocket. Yuck.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You have to, like, I agree. You have to find the ones that work. But I've had several fast food burgers and homemade burgers and diner burgers where they're all good. I like them all. And there's some fast food burgers I've had that I could fucking throw in the trash and be okay that I didn't fucking waste my money at that location ever again.
So
Yeah, see, that's another smaller aspect is like, so if you bring home your own veggie burgers, it like you can't cook them exactly the same as you would a regular burger.
Well, no. And Tyler, you know my mom, you know my family. Most of us are cooks. We like to cook. We know how to cook.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That it's different. It's a learned thing. You can't just make a veg, and I'm sure people would argue this, but you can't just make a veggie burger the same way you would a regular burger, and it'll be good. Like you have to experiment with it and figure out how you like to make yours. For example, mine I generally put on like a lower heat, and I cover them, which like generally you don't want to do with burgers, like with like meat patties.
I do that all the time, actually.
But it's kind of a obviously a different thing. Like with veggie burgers, you have to be very careful that you don't burn the outside.
yeah, you don't want to
But
overcook them, otherwise they just taste like
yeah,
trash.
to be like I'll be fair with you that like it's very easy to burn a veggie burger. But yeah, I don't know. Overall like even I like yes, I have had some very bad veggie burgers. Like there's again hashtag not sponsored. There's a brand called Dr. Prager's, who I think that's how you say it. I don't know. And I actually really like their burgers because, like, in my opinion, they still taste good. They're always nice and juicy without being like greasy and gross. But I accidentally bought a thing of like beef or not beef, beet like flavored burgers, like they're just made out of beets.
Hey,
And
beets are
my
delicious.
God, no, those were disgusting. I didn't even finish. I threw them out, which I almost never do with food because my mom would have kicked my ass.
Exactly.
But yeah, so yeah, there's definitely you can 100% get bad burgers, but in my opinion, the burgers that I often buy are just they're just better than most of the burgers you can get elsewhere. Obviously, they're not the best, but like it's also like a price thing. Like the ones that I buy are pretty much the same price as like regular ground beef from Walmart. But yeah, the best burger though, if anyone cares, like meat patty, is Laura's Burgers in Avondale, Arizona. It's fucking delicious. Go there when they're open. Only problem is they're only open like seasonally because it's a small family-run shop. But if they're open and you're near Avondale at any point, go by there. It's tasty.
I feel like if you guys watched the Distractable podcast at all, there's a scene where Wade specifically talks about something like this, where he's like, "Yeah, I keep trying tacos and they're gross, and like I feel like this is the same situation where I've tried plenty, but you just don't want to accept the fact that I don't like veggie burgers."
I have seen that one. It's kind of funny.
Right. But on the flip side, I could argue that you just don't want to accept that there is one that you'll like somewhere.
I'm sure there's one that I would be okay with finishing it, but not something I would want to go out of my way to order.
Right, see, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, you can't know that until you've had literally every veggie burger prepared,
Oh my god, I'm not
like,
gonna fucking
properly.
waste thousands of dollars on
That's
fucking...
what I'm saying, though, is, like, you still, in my opinion, can't write off veggie burgers as being bad. It's just, like, it's completely fair to say that, like, I have never had a veggie burger that I have liked. That's completely fair. But you can't go on and say, "Oh no, all veggie burgers are trash," because the ones I've had,
I
I've
never
tried a
said
bunch
that.
and they're-
I just said I don't like them. Anywho, we should probably get off food for a minute now.
Yeah, before we have a full episode on veggie burgers.
On veggie burgers. So, this was something I was reading online. The Star Wars movies series isn't as good as everyone makes it out to be. What's your opinions on that?
I think when it first came out, like the
Original series?
the first two trilogies were kind of mind-blowing because they were the first, like, the most ambitious movies of their time. So I think of its time, it is very groundbreaking. But otherwise, other than that, I don't think it's really mind-blowing. Like, they're good movies, but like, I don't know if they deserve as much love nowadays.
I feel like Tyler may be having an aneurysm over there.
Maybe.
No, I'm actually about to piss off the entire internet. Because I, like Kyle, recognize that when the original trilogy came out, yes, it was groundbreaking. It was this new, fascinating idea that, like, it was a unique concept and all that. But as far as, like, how it holds up to the modern day, the original trilogy is not very, like, it's not very good. Like, overall. Like, some of the writing is relatively bland. A lot of it is very opaque, good versus bad. Like, a lot of the villains aren't very interesting or, like, creative. Just, like, Darth Sidious is just very, I am bad guy. Like, that's his whole, like, arc, basically.
That's not Darth Sidious, Josh.
Is it not?
It's Emperor Palpatine.
What? Yeah, but isn't that Darth Sidious?
Yeah, Emperor Palpatine is Darth Sidious.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah.
It's okay,
mind.
you can cut that out.
Yeah.
No, that stays in. I want the internet to know.
I mean, Kyle's the editor, so...
Kyle, it stays in, or you get a
Kyle
pay
has...
cut.
You could
I'm
say
not
Kyle
paid
has...
at all.
Unlimited power! Anyway. Yeah, so overall, original trilogy, good, but not mind-blowing, fantastic, spectacular anymore. It doesn't hold up as well as people claim it does. The prequel trilogy is not nearly as bad as people think it is.
No. It's got good points, and it's got great
it's actually good
storytelling.
quality. Like you were saying, like it has good world building, and like
stuff that you would have never have thought to even think about in the original
people complain
series.
about all like the Senate scenes and all the politics, and I'm like, I loved that.
Like that's how a lot of that shit would have been solved.
Yeah, I was so into that. I was like, yes, this is cool. The inner workings of how everything is tied together.
Yes, politics. Do it.
Honestly, so I remember how I mentioned that Darth Sidious is just a I'm big bad evil guy in the original trilogy. I think the prequel trilogies are what made him a more interesting villain.
Well, because then you got to think about it from this point. He is playing a two-sided war on both sides, and he's literally puppeteering this whole fucking war for no reason.
Other than to send a message.
But it is for a reason. That's the
thing.
Yeah,
but that's the thing is like
that's why he's interesting.
He's puppeteering all this, and like like, you get to the end of it and you're like, holy shit, this man, like, most people fucking try to maintain a job and they lose their shit. This man is literally holding a war with a galaxy together and fucking cool as a cucumber.
But yeah, I don't know. Just the prequel trilogy, you at least get to see some characters' motivations and why they are how they are, not just not just Darth Vader bad guy because Sidious bad guy, so we
because
have
red
to go
lightsaber.
fight. Yeah, and I'm like obviously yes, the I am your father like bomb drop, that will always be like an epic moment in film.
Yeah.
And like that part still holds up, but the films as a whole just like
No.
like
Not
for example, the fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in the original trilogy. Oh my god, that is the blandest. Like it's just
the most boring fight, but it's emotional when you consider what happens.
Yeah, but see, even that, like, it doesn't feel very emotional to me. Like, it just feels very, I don't know. It's just like, oh, he just let himself get killed. That doesn't make any sense. Like,
and again, some of it actually is kind of covered in the Kenobi series. So,
but yeah,
when you watch
saying,
it,
like, if you need another thing to explain why this happened in this other movie, then your initial film wasn't written well enough. In my opinion.
See, then there's that, and the fact that from now on, in order for any new fan to want to catch up with like Marvel, they got to watch fucking how many series, how many movies, and spend their time before they get to watch the one movie they've wanted to watch.
Oh yeah, a couple times. I've only watched like the Marvel movies that have like Spider-Man in them.
Okay.
And the Iron Man movies, because Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor, and I like Spider-Man. He's like one of the only Marvel characters that I actively enjoy.
And just think, he wouldn't have been a character if Stan Lee never fucking. What the whole thing was that they didn't actually want to publish Spider-Man ever.
I don't remember where I was going with that, but anyway, back on the Star Wars thing, real quick. Sequel trilogy with Rey and Kylo and all that, garbage. Throw the trash, burn it.
That's an unpopular opinion.
Like,
no, that's pretty. That's
right.
pretty
No, I was just completing my opinion on the Star Wars film saga. So yeah, just throw it in the trash, light it on fire, bury it under 50 feet of shit.
Like, wasn't it technically doxed? Just like they.
It was. Someone
said like it's not part of the series anymore.
Yeah, someone fucking uncanoned all that shit now. So, like, it's cool to see the technology.
I think technically it is still canon according to like the Disney heads or whatever. But basically, the whole fan base has agreed that no, that's not canon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it bad. Very, very bad. Like, that's the shit that irritated me, too, is, just to touch on it a little bit, is the sequel trilogy. Could have been really good. They just, I don't know, they just went for way too much fan service and Deus Ex Machina and blah, 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 blah.
Disney and Lucasfilm officially announced Episode 7 and the sequel trilogy the same day. Lucasfilm later announced that the film would be an original story, not beholden to the continuity of the Star Wars expanded universe. Therefore, it is not canon. So, haha.
Well, maybe. See, because...
Well, that's according to the Star Wars Legends part of it. So there may still be some continuity of it.
Okay, no, that was... So that is basically just them saying... So it's not beholden to the expanded universe, which means that they don't have to stick to the expanded universe content or when they're writing things. Like, they don't have to... What that was they didn't have to recognize the previous canon, which is the Legends storyline, which is actually good, which Disney pissed me off when they fucking killed it. I used to know so much about Star Wars, and I know considerably less about the canon now.
Fucking Star Wars. Anyway, Kyle, you want to pick
so
topic?
much fucking chat.
I'm going to switch the topic from movies to something that's probably a little more controversial in Wisconsin.
Ooh.
I personally think that like any alcohol is very overrated, and I personally hate all of it.
And see, I've been on both sides of it. Obviously, you guys know my brother and the shit he's gone through. And I think if you guys saw me drink, or Tyler, you might have, actually.
Yeah, we've gone out a couple times.
I say, I don't get stupid drunk, and I don't force people to drink if they don't want to. Like, yeah, if you want to have a drink with me, by all means, fucking sit on the bar stool and we'll bullshit. If you don't want to, weirdly enough, I've met several people at a bar that don't drink and just go there to have a good time.
Fair enough.
So I can see both sides of it, and I'm kind of on the same point of like, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of alcohol. Not like I say that very well knowing I have two full cases of beer sitting in my fridge, but that shit's been sitting there for how long? And I'll do it for more like social things. I don't go out to like fucking, you know, drink my worries away or fucking drink my life away.
Yeah, you should never turn to alcohol when you are having troubles. It just makes it worse anyway.
It absolutely does. And as someone that has been on that side of seeing that happen, it is not worth it. There are people out there, and mind you, this is now kind of pulling out of our topic right now. If you guys are having problems, no matter what, there is someone out there that's willing to help. Whether if you want to reach out to any of us specifically, I'm more than willing to help. I've seen several problems regarding a lot of issues. I'm willing to listen. As several things I've heard, I would rather listen to your story for 2 hours than listen to a 15-minute eulogy about someone. It's just don't turn to substance abuse. It's not worth.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, like I have a couple friends that just constantly try to find some alcohol that I will enjoy drinking. Like every time it fails, or it like ends up getting me sick because it's like dairy based. And the cruel irony of being lactose
of living in
Wisconsin.
Well, and that kind of goes back to Tyler's thing about the whole veggie burger stuff. Yeah, I'm sure there's something somewhere that you could drink that won't get you that sick and that you might actually enjoy. But fucking pushing yourself to get sick or waste time and money or just, physically hurt yourself drinking alcohol, it's just not worth it.
No.
Yeah, and so my angle on the whole alcohol thing is so it's just alcohol in general. I don't like what alcohol does to people in general.
Yeah.
And like based on like my family history and stuff with alcohol, and like the fact that I can generally have a great time without alcohol and like all that, I just don't drink because I'm like I don't see a reason to, like, I don't need to and stuff like that. So for me, it's not even like just I don't like this kind of alcohol. It's just like I don't.
You have no use for it.
If anything has alcohol in it, I don't need it. Yeah, like I don't need that extra whatever that people say you get from drinking. Yeah. So
now then, here's a flip question for that, because I currently have friends, family, and potential others that smoke marijuana. Are you guys against it or for it?
See, again, that's kind of I don't want to say it, but it's a bit of an unfair question because you can you don't have to be for or against it. Like,
but I don't in your personal use, would you do it or not?
House. I don't think I would.
No,
I don't see a need.
It's probably because I also don't like what alcohol does to me, like how it feels. I feel like I would be one of the ones that would probably freak out with marijuana.
Okay.
Like I really don't want to experience that at all.
I would say I do kind of have a story about this. So, first time I tried it was with my roommates. I obviously will not say names, but they gave me a little hit, and I'm like, okay, because I don't remember if I was having a rough week, if I was in pain, or just needed to sleep or whatever. So I took a hit, I tried it. First 10 minutes, I was just kind of, I felt really, I don't want to say lightheaded, because that's not the right term, but I just felt like I was just floating to, well, not even Cloud9. I was just kind of some of the pain had gone away. I was just kind of in a floating state where, like, you know how you sit in a hot tub or in a pool just right, and you're just kind of floating. That's how I felt for like the first 5 minutes. After that, I remember walking to my room. I legitimately like curled up like fucking fetal position, and I was just shaking. I was scared.
Oh, that is scary.
Well, and like I realized after like 20 minutes that it had passed, but like that first initial few minutes, I'm like, guys, I don't feel good. I don't feel right. What's going on? And I realized all I had to do was just wait it out. And that's probably the one thing I will give weed over alcohol is the effects are usually very mild and don't last as long. But and I've had time like I'm not saying it was a one and done thing. I've tried it a couple of times. There was moments I had, and again, it all comes down to how there's like different blends and breeds of it, which, in my opinion, is another really stupid thing with it. But like, there's indica, and then I forget what the other one is. But I tried the other one, sativa. Thank you. I keep wanting to say saliva, but I'm like, that's not right.
I'm smoking saliva.
But like I tried the other one, and again, I can't tell you which one's which. I've kind of stopped caring about it that much. But the other one I tried, I had that same initial feeling of just like, okay, I'm floating, the pain has gone away, and then it just kind of stopped. And
it
not
didn't
like
get to the freak out part.
No, it didn't. And like my roommates explained, that's just like one of them is more of like caffeine, where what the other one's more of like melatonin based, where it's like, yeah, this will get you ready to go and do stuff. This one will put you in a real kind of like, I don't want to even say downer state, but just kind of like a downer state where you're not going to be doing anything.
Yeah.
Just mellow.
Yeah, like a mellow mood. Thank you. So I agree with that, that it's not for everyone. Not saying that I won't do it again. I may, depending if it becomes legal in certain states or not, I may go out for a hit, but it's not something I will actively go out of my way, like, oh, I need this to function every day. I need this to happen.
That's called dependency.
Which is also very unhealthy.
That's
very unhealthy.
See, that just in general is unhealthy, not just with weed or alcohol.
There are several things where dependency becomes...
any kind of dependency needs to be checked.
Dependency becomes a very, like, slippery slope, and once you're on it, it's hard to come off of it. God, this really became like a downer episode really quick.
I mean, it is unpopular opinions, but...
It is.
At first it was really heated, and then...
I was literally about to say we haven't argued.
Yes, let's find...
And drop a bomb.
Like, at first I thought that it was going to be like a full episode of Veggie Burger, and we were going to have to change the title.
Okay, I think Christmas is overrated. Discuss.
Like, Christmas as a concept, or Christmas as it is modern day of, like, corporate gift giving?
Both.
Okay.
Mainly because the whole idea that, you know, Christ's birthday was in the winter, which... like factually and even ideologically didn't fucking make sense.
Fun fact, by the way, basically all Christmas like traditions and shit are taken from the pagan holiday of Yule.
And it just kind of like actually there's an Adam ruins everything episode on it. That it was just like, yeah, if you want to have a party, because it was supposed to like celebrate the end of like the harvest and the end of the year kind of thing, that, okay, if you guys want to celebrate, just do it in this dude's name. Okay. And then it became the holiday it was after several hundred years of corporate ingenuity and fucking consumerism.
And Christian takeover.
That too.
Yeah.
Also, same thing with Easter. A lot of the ideas and stuff
it is paganism. From the goddess Esther, the goddess of fertility.
Right. Kids are going.
That's why rabbits and pigs,
by
the way.
They both represent fertility.
Yep, because rabbits bang.
Ooh,
you didn't.
This is a topic. This is a fucking topic that actually kind of makes my blood boil, because I've worked both a white collar and a blue collar job. Someone thinks that.
So are you gonna bring us an actual unpopular?
No, this one might be. White collar jobs are more work than blue collar. So like fucking corporate jobs versus the trash man.
Yeah, like, see, you have to.
No, I
So you have to
absolutely do
define what
not.
you mean by work.
This is a hill I will die on. I'm currently working an IT job. I have never been more lazy in my life than I am right now, and I'm actively going through different hospitals putting up new equipment.
Right, but that's what I mean by you have to define what you mean by
Because,
work.
like, paperwork is different than, like, actual manual labor.
But see, I've
Yeah.
done plenty of paperwork. I don't mind paperwork. I fucking hate busting my ass in fucking 90-degree weather. And mind you, this was at the time of the slaughterhouse, or even better yet, when I was at the slaughterhouse, it was deer season. So it was freezing outside. I actively stood outside in like the pouring snow and rain to make sure people were able to bring in their deer. And I fucking hated that aspect of the job. It was so goddamn demanding, and ugh.
Right, but see, here's the thing, like, what you do, like, would you consider it blue collar or
Right
white
now,
collar?
white collar, 100%. I'm IT. There's not a more fucking white collar job than that.
Well, I mean, data
That's
entry.
pretty fucking close.
I mean, data entry, you literally sit at a computer and put numbers
Well,
in.
with support desk, that's what
Like,
I would be doing.
right, but I'm saying, like, isn't your job, like, physically installing shit every once
Yeah,
in a while?
but I've never been more lazy in my life than with this job.
Right, but that's my point. You could argue that aspect is blue collar. So, like, that's what I mean by, like, you have to define the terms that you're using. You can't just say, this is harder than this. It's like you know, you gotta look at it, like, because, like, so what I do could be considered blue collar. Again, I'm not going to say what
Yeah,
it is, other than, like,
you
delivery
deliver
service
and products to people.
Yeah, it's delivery service. So, like, I drive to a person's house, hand them items, and then drive back.
Now, Tyler,
So,
I
like,
know as well because this was a job
most
I've wanted
people,
to apply for in the past. Are you involved in the making of said products and service that you deliver? Okay.
yes.
Therefore, I defy
So,
that as white collar because you are physically making something. Or I'm sorry, blue collar because you are physically making something.
yeah, I would say blue collar. Yeah. So, like, even without that aspect, like, I would argue that it's blue collar because I physically have to carry things into my
You
car
are moving
and then,
product.
go to the location. Yeah. But, like, to me, my job is, like, physically and mentally easier than, like, something like if I'm working 10-hour shifts doing data analysis where I have to, like, compare
But
numbers and do all this kind of stuff all day. To me, that would be
especially
harder.
with the advent of modern technology, data analysis isn't that hard anymore. You literally run a program that does it for you. I've seen it happen fucking with my own eyes because we've needed people to, like, there's fucking apps and websites that this company uses. I've watched people do data analysis. They legitimately type in a program, like a command to run the program, and it goes through all the shit and it comes out with like fucking all that info.
Right, but see, that you still have to compare the numbers that it pops out, and yes, there are obviously more simple, simple ways to do it and stuff. But at the end of the day, somebody still has to sit down and look at the numbers and make decisions based on those numbers. And, like, you can't boil everything down to a singular number. That this one has, this one's rating is 28.6. This one's 26.2. So we go with the 28. Like,
and
that's and again that's depending on the circumstance. I guess another example that I would be relatively familiar with is data analysis for, like, a sports team. Voice crack. Anyway, for example, like with football, soccer. Sorry,
for
America,
the non-Americans.
with soccer is, like, yes, you have, like, things that pump out numbers for you, but you still have to do, like, you have to try to, like, I don't know how to, you have to, like, de-quantify what those numbers mean, and, like, still figure out, like, like what to do with those numbers. So like, it's still a lot of mental work.
Mental work.
And like again,
mental
to me,
work can also
that's
be
that's harder than
mental work can physically be split up between several people. Physical work,
it can be, but it often
and
isn't.
that's the problem. Is like it's often not, but there's instances where it is. There's always at least one person doing physical labor that usually cannot be split up because of either like when I was at my fast food job carrying a box of fries. I'm not going to have two people carry a box of fries, but that was a physically demanding aspect.
We could have two
Right,
people
but
carry
every
multiple boxes of fries.
Yeah, but at some point, somebody still has to carry a box of fries.
Yeah.
With that, like analyzing the data, you could have several people looking at the same sheet, and as well with that, you could get skewed results.
Right. Yeah, but that's what I mean. At the end of the day, with that too, you still have to have one person that ultimately looks over whatever all the other people like bring to the table. At the end of the day, there has to be one person that goes, "This is what we're doing with these numbers," and that person has to look at all of the data that they're given. And like with my job, like yeah, technically each delivery I have to go, to like I have to take that delivery and drop it off. But like there is a division of labor still. Like I don't have to take every delivery.
But then again, it's split up between multiple people. But regardless of whether you have 100 people or one person, and I guess that kind of does lead into your thing of ultimately one person has that decision, it's still got to happen. You can sit there and look at numbers all day and not make a decision. If somebody is requiring that you move that product, it's got to be moved one way or the other.
See, that's to me that's inaccurate. If your job is data analysis and you don't make that decision at the end of the day, you haven't done your job.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
so it's akin to not moving that product.
But at the end of the day, if someone doesn't read that number right, it's not the end of the world. Where if
that's very arguable. Like especially with sports analysis, if somebody doesn't read that number right, and therefore that player doesn't get picked in the starting 11 that week, that could very well be a reason that that team lost that week, which can be a big deal. Similarly to if I mess up a delivery, that customer might not care, it might not be a big deal, or that customer could no longer order from us and we've just lost a repeat customer.
Not a lost customer.
That can be a big deal.
Depends on how small the business is.
That's why companies...
Yeah, if it's a small business, I understand. But, Tyler, knowing the corporation that you work for, it's not.
On a small scale, it's not. But if it's a repetitive thing, then absolutely it's a big deal.
No. That $200 that person would have spent that year on that service, that was going to end up...
that one person. That's what I'm saying, though. If it's more wide scale than just one person, that's what I'm saying. If I make a mistake, it's safe to assume that, 500 other people have made a mistake in the same job. So that's effectively 500 customers that, potentially were repeat customers that didn't, you know what I mean? And that's if I make one mistake. That's if each person makes one mistake. And, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's, yes, on the small scale, it's not really that big of a deal, similarly to the data analysis thing. But on a larger scale, that can be a huge problem. But again, that's more to do with the importance of the job, not necessarily how hard something is. But that's all I was saying, is that, in my opinion, there's definitely some white-collar jobs that are harder than blue-collar jobs. It's just, you can't, like, it's, again, that whole thing of, like, you have to have qualifiers in it. You can't just say, all white-collar jobs are easier than all blue-collar jobs, or vice versa.
I don't know. The line that I'm reading just says white-collar jobs are more work than blue-collar, so I don't think they had that same level of down to the fucking filters that we're talking about.
Well, right, that's because it's probably a headline meant to get clicks.
Okay, quick fire topic. Mayonnaise is the worst condiment. You guys agree or not?
What?
Someone states that mayonnaise is the worst condiment.
I disagree.
I don't care. I don't really have a tier list of condiments.
Okay. I don't mind it. I think depends on what it's going on matters, but other than that,
I mean,
couldn't
it's
care.
egg white and oil.
All right. So here's a hot take. American football is overrated and boring.
I agree in the same aspect of like NASCAR. You don't go to it to watch the actual sport. You watch it for one of two things. You either watch for shit to hit the fan, or because there's usually something really cool happening.
That's actually a springboard thing I could say is that NASCAR is not. It's boring.
But you go to watch it for either something really interesting just happened or a crash just happened.
Or if there's someone that you want to watch is in it, like one specific
yeah, but then
person.
I don't know a single person who watches NASCAR regularly who hasn't at least a few times fallen asleep watching a race.
When I was younger at my dad's house, I used to watch it a lot with him. But he actually taught me a little bit about the whole NASCAR thing, which I thought was cool. But
there's so many better racing series out there, like even Formula One, which I also find relatively boring because the spread of how good the best teams are and how bad the worst teams are is so vast. It's just not interesting. Like, you know, Verstappen or Hamilton are winning every race in F1, basically. Like, unless something drastic happens.
I think I would fucking rather watch like
the next race. They'll be right back on top.
I would rather watch like fucking motorcycle racing because like that shit can be scary.
Yeah, what I find fun to watch, which I'm probably going to get flack for if anybody knows, but Formula E. I find that very fun to watch because you actually generally don't know who's going to win. Because every driver is, like, well, not every driver, but at least, you know, there's at least, like, half the field is good enough to win any particular race.
What the fuck was I just... I heard something the other day that, like, one of the oldest races in, like, Formula 1 has... The track itself has not largely changed in the how many years it's been, like, a thing. And that in the last race, there was a whopping one takeover in the whole race.
Monaco,
probably. But, like, yeah, I agree. With shit like that, it comes down to you're either watching it to support someone or because you're waiting for some bullshit to happen.
But yeah, that's a side tangent to NASCAR and all that. But, like, American football, it's just so boring. I don't comprehend why people get so excited about, like, it's literally, you wait for, like, 2 minutes.
For 10 seconds of play to happen.
Of, like, yeah, of, like, commercial. I mean, I guess, yeah, there's, like, a 40-second play clock or whatever, so technically it's not 40 minutes. But that's if there's no TV timeout, if there's no team timeout, if there's no injury. Yeah. Like,
you're sitting there fucking watching
the
them
time that it takes,
sit on the sidelines and talk about a play.
Yeah, and that's not to mention the time it takes the referee to get the ball and set it down. That's when the 40. So, like, you wait for, like, 40 seconds to 2 minutes, and then they run, like, a 5 to 7 second play,
and it's like, oh boy.
And then you do it all again. That's why I actually read a thing that the average amount of actual play time of, like, live play
5 minutes
in an American
or something.
Football game, well, I think it's like 12.
And the shit goes on for hours.
So, yeah, like, average time that, like, a first string, like, player plays is, like, 6 minutes. because you don't play offense and defense generally. Like, there's a few players here and there that do, but generally, yeah, you're either offense or defense, so you're only playing for, like, 5-6 minutes in a game. And people act like it's this, like, super intense, like, oh, you were working for 60 minutes. I'm like, actually 12.
Like, soccer has a lot more
yes,
activity.
I get that it's physically demanding and it hurts. But yeah, like, as an example, soccer, yeah, the average, as far as I know, the average soccer player, excluding goalkeepers, runs for 7 miles. I think it's either 7 miles or 7 kilometers, which I get is kind of a big difference. But, like, either way, it's still, like, even if you, like, round down or whatever.
Yeah, like I remember actually when I worked at Jiffy Lube for a little time, I actively tracked how much I was walking because I bought a smartwatch recently. I was getting in 20 to 30,000 steps a day working that fucking job. So I'm assuming I probably did this. It was, dude, I fucking ran up and down stairs that job. But like, I'm assuming that's about on average what soccer players are doing. Maybe a little bit more. But
Yeah, and that's your
yeah,
whole day.
they're doing that in like a 90
And they're
minute
doing
span.
it in 90 minutes. And that's the thing, too. Like, people seem to think that, like, oh, well, in soccer, when you're not on the ball, then, you're not actually running. Completely
It's like the
incorrect.
same fucking
Like,
thing with
yes, there are
hockey,
times
actually.
where you slow down and you
Yeah.
walk, or you slow jog or whatever. But yeah, it's not like you're just straight up I'm gonna go take
Fucking
a breather.
baseball.
Like, yeah, that's the other argument with hockey, because people try to argue against hockey all the time too, and I'm like, no, hockey. I've played
So
hockey, and I've played American football. Hockey is
fucking
harder.
hockey gets rough.
Hockey is, in my opinion, more difficult than American football at every aspect. Endurance, strength, like hand-eye coordination. In my opinion, hockey is harder in every single one of those categories. Because, like in hockey, for those that don't know, in hockey, generally, you're on the ice for like minute-long shift. It's usually like 40 seconds to a little bit over a minute based on, how good your like offensive line is or like pairing is. But like sometimes that can get stretched out to like a minute and a half if you're in a tight spot. But it's constant skating. Yeah. Like when you're on the ice in hockey, there's no like there's no waiting for for the ball to get snapped. Like once that puck is dropped and you're on the ice, you're moving the whole time unless you suck. Because there are people that just stand around, but they're basically useless, so don't even call them hockey players. But yeah, you're like constantly moving for that like minute, and then you go sit down for like 3-4 minutes. But like I don't know, just to me it's different. To me, like it's much easier to go real hard on the offensive line in American football. Like once the ball is snapped, you're trying to push this guy back for 6 seconds, and then you get a minute-long break. To me, that's much easier than skating hard for a minute and then sitting for 5 minutes. Yeah. Like, it's just, I don't know. American football is boring and is actually an easy sport.
Okay. I have one more quick fire. This is a yes or no. I don't care if you think it's good or bad.
You're wrong.
Hold on. I think we should each come up with a short one like that and kind of finish off the episode there. Okay? I will go first to give you guys a little time, or unless you've already got it. I think pickle juice tastes good.
No.
Disgusting.
I like it. I don't care what y'all think. I think it's delicious.
And
it works
I just
really
don't like
well
vinegar in general. So
that's a fair point, and most times you're not supposed to be drinking vinegar.
Yeah.
However, pickle juice is also very tasty in Bloody Marys, so there's that.
I mean, Bloody Marys, that's just a gross concept anyway.
Tomato juice?
No, Bloody Marys.
Okay, let's not get into it too much.
I mean, like, tomato juice in general, also gross, but
I love tomato juice.
Look, you can't say, like, oh, I'll make it a quick one, and then say, like, 3 bad opinions in a row.
You were the ones that pulled it off. I just said, I like pickle juice, it tastes good, and then it went into...
And then you also said that it tastes good in Bloody Marys, which is another inaccuracy.
Again, that's an opinion.
It's a wrong opinion.
That's not how opinions work, asshole. Anyway, so that was my quick fire one. You guys?
I want to go with money can buy happiness.
To a degree.
Yeah, I'm totally down with that. Because it can't, like I said before, it can't directly buy happiness.
It cannot buy the sensation, however, it can help ease into the sensation.
But yeah, like, it can buy you things like, I don't know, man, like, I sorted my financial shit out a few years ago, and I am much happier for it. Like, I got peace of mind, I'm chilling, I can buy shit
you
whenever
can go
I
on
want. For the most
vacations
part,
if something happens, like medically or
Yeah, you're not
non-medically. You can
fucking.
afford to pay
You're
for
not
it rather
stuck.
than, going down.
say I actually, some of my friends and colleagues get mad at me because I can just straight up, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm going to LA this weekend, like, staying in a hotel doing this, and they're like, what, for what? I'm like, music
Not because I
festival.
want to.
They're like, wait, you're just going? And I'm like, yeah.
And I gotta say, I've.
Yeah, I saw a couple weeks ago that there's tickets for this music festival that I want to go to, so I bought
I was
the
saying
tickets.
I've kind of gotten into that
It's
same
like
point where now because of my job I'm a little bit better off, but like yeah.
It's like I'm planning to go to the Rocket League World Championship thing because
When is that again?
Moist Critical, aka Critical, aka Charlie Penguin Zero. People know who the fuck I'm talking about, or if they don't, whatever. Yeah, his esports team has a Rocket League team that's going to be there. But yeah.
Okay.
So, and I'm just going to that because I am.
I'll say when is that?
I don't remember. We'll figure it out after the podcast. But anyway.
So Tyler, do you have a quick shot unpopular opinion?
Well, I don't know if it's unpopular, but
He's got an opinion.
It's definitely contentious, which is that cats are objectively better than dogs.
Okay.
I'm in the middle.
Because while cats are bastards and seemingly do some shit just to piss you off, they are smart. They're at least intelligent.
Oh, there are a lot of dogs that are intelligent. It's just not like murder you intelligent.
There's more dogs. To me, there's more dogs that are just stupid.
I'd say I have stories both defending.
It's nothing against
both
the
defending
dog,
and offending each side of this. So
the dog that I'm taking care of is very dumb.
It just depends on what kind of person you are and what kind of personality you have. That will decide if you're more of a cat person or a dog person, or if you're both.
Well,
or neither.
Again,
but
yeah,
I agree, and I don't want to say I disagree, but I've had moments where I've had dogs that are better. But like my cat right now, his name is Terabyte. I think he's fucking adorable. He is probably, in my opinion, probably one of the better cats I've owned. He doesn't destroy things. He knows where his clawing post is. He likes treats, but he'll be outside most of the day, and he's a very quiet cat. I have now met cats on the other end of the spectrum, actually one that I live with, that you even look at this cat, and it fucking yells at you. And I wish that was a joke. I could probably go upstairs right now with my headset on, look at this cat, and you will hear it just meow, and I won't even be close to it. And then I've also met cats, again, one that I live with, who probably is lucky to have more than 3 brain cells, but I've also met cats that are super smart and that can fucking navigate a fucking maze blind. I have met dogs that I've trusted my life with and have been my best friends. I've also met dogs that eat drywall and steel-toed shoes and video games. Like,
yeah, I think there's actually a YouTube channel that did a thing like that. They had they put up obstacle courses for their cats.
One where they'll like fucking have a
shit.
frame, like a door frame, and they'll put like cups or cardboard and cut holes out, and if the cat can make it through or not.
Yeah, I don't remember what the name of the channel is,
but
exist. But yeah, like the cats will sometimes they'll struggle a little bit, and you can kind of see their different personalities. Some are a little smarter, some are a little dumber. But there was one that I remember watching that the cat navigated the thing or whatever, and then the dog comes in
just fucking wrecks
and just barrels through the obstacle course. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess technically
it's one way.
it got past the thing, but I don't know, just as a short example, I know I'm trying not to make this too long, but as a short example, the dumbass dog that I'm taking care of, which just so everybody knows, I do love the dog. He's my friend. I like him.
But he's dumb.
Cool, but he's also stupid.
Fucking dumb.
So this is an example of him being stupid. So he used to only crap in my bedroom. I don't know why, but that was the only place where he would go to crap. So when we were at the convention from a couple weeks ago, I put up like a baby gate thing, and he would like jump over it basically. So I decided to put a large box behind, like on the other side of the baby gate, so that he couldn't see where he was, like, you know, what he was jumping into. This fucker just jumped into the box. I'm like, bro, literally anything could have been over there. You could have just jumped into a friggin' spike pit, but you're just gonna blindly jump? You dumbass.
Yes,
why didn't you just close your door?
I don't have a door.
Well,
that's awkward.
That creates an issue.
Open concept, brah. Yeah, so, anyway, I'll explain. It's not important right now. But anyway, so yeah, I think it's time for our wholesome point/tip, which I would like to start off by saying, obviously, I'm being a little bit facetious. Jesus Christ, I'm having a stroke. Facetious. Close enough. Facetious. About all this, like, obviously, anyone is free to like what they like and have their own opinions as long as they're not harmful to others. Yeah. You know,
or strictly stopping someone else's life in any way.
Yeah, your opinions are your own.
Well, I mean, I think that
don't shove them on other people.
But yeah, you're free to like what you like.
Assholes are.
It's just jokes.
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
That doesn't mean that I won't argue about you and tell you that you're wrong. But I objectively know that, like, you're not actually wrong.
We are a group of friends that like to argue about shit because we find it fun.
Yeah. That's just how I am. Well, and I just mean for, like, everyone on the outside as well, if anyone ever listens to this. Just, yeah, like, feel free to share your opinions. I'll make fun of you for it.
It's all in good
fun. I would
fun.
expect the same the other way. I expect people to make fun of me for my
Which we do,
opinions,
Mr. Digimon.
But yeah. Yeah, I guess my pro tip for having an opinion is make sure it's actually an opinion, not a wrong fact, because those two things are
don't
different.
Don't confuse the two.
For example, saying the Earth is flat is not an opinion. That is an incorrect fact.
Indeed. Great, now we've got the Flat Earth Society on our ass.
Oh well.
Oh no, they'll have to come all the way around the globe.
They'll have to walk around to get to us.
They're going to come from all around the globe to get us.
Okay. My pro tip kind of leads back to what I had stated earlier, kind of pulling us out of it. Don't use stuff that is going to become harmful to you. If you feel you have a problem, reach out. There are experts available that are more than willing. As a matter of fact, they want to help you. If you even just need someone to talk to, reach out to a friend. As I said, I'm sure a lot of them would rather listen to your problems than listen to the end of your life. It's not worth it, and there's always a better path. There's always a different path. I've met several people that have gone up and down on those, and trust me, 9 times out of 10, and I shouldn't even say that, every time they are always happy you came out the other side. Kyle, you got anything?
I think my only pro tip, if you're going to start stating like opinions as facts, at least do your research first so it's accurate.
And always be open-minded.
Yeah.
You may realize something.
Also, I read it on Facebook is not research.
Yeah. To find scientific studies or do your own study. Obviously, well within acceptable parameters. Don't go out and kidnap people.
Yeah.
But be open-minded. Like the whole veggie burger thing. I'm willing to try something until I feel I've reached the point of either it's costing me too much money or it's doing me harm to continue doing this.
Yeah. But aside from that, eat your vegetables.
Yes, eat your fruits and veggies.
Oh, God.
Alright, anything else?
Anyway, check out all of our socials on linktree.com/procrastinationnationstudio. Check out the Patreon. This will probably be on the YouTube, so like and subscribe. Yeah. And other than that, don't be a dick.
Fair enough. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay, bye.